Hi, a very good morning. So this is our group 16. We will be doing our case study for the LEX exercise number 3, which is on proteins and enzyme, which is on the question that what will happen if a cow ate 500 grams of fertilizer grade urea. My name is Darian Raja, matrix number 180673.
Hello, my name is Tan Go Jiaying and my matrix number is 180613.
Hello, my name is Ho Kai Tong and my metric number is 179019.
My name is Nohani binti Abdul Mubin, matrix number 180702.
My name is Ifa Laila binti Fadul Hadi and my matrix number is 180632.
Hello, my name is Amir Zahid, matrix number is 185099.
Ni yang dua-dua ni. Okay, so what I found for urea is that it can be used as a source of protein in ruminant feed. Yeah.
Actually, why can the urea become a source of protein?
So basically, urea used in ruminant feed is actually used as a source called non-protein nitrogen, or in other words, NPN. These are components which are not really protein, but they can be used by the microorganisms in the rumen to convert it into proteins. So how this works is actually these components, NPN, they are converted into ammonia through normal fermentation in the rumen. And then when the ammonia is produced, the microorganisms will use this ammonia, combine it with products of carbohydrate metabolism. So the product of this will be amino acid. So amino acid will be absorbed by the ruminant and used as a source of protein.
So does anyone know about how much can the urea fit in the daily feed?
I think I know what you're talking about is that how many cattle needs, how many grams cattle needs urea in its diet. Okay, first of all, I would like to talk about what is urea. Urea is a simple compound that contains 46.7% of nitrogen. It's found in many plants and is a normal and product of protein metabolism in mammal. Okay, now we enter how many grams that a cattle needs urea per day. For a fattening cattle, they need about 0.4 to 0.11 kg urea per head per day for a cattle. Okay, that's for a normal cattle, a cattle that's fattening. For a dry cow, is that a cattle that are in a period where cow are resting from producing milk, meaning that the other are creating new cell to develop the other. Okay, for dry periods, cattle needs about 0.02 kg to urea per cow per day. And then there's other categories that in lactating period. Lactating period that the cattle is giving milk for production lah. It's need about 0.02 kg of urea per day. And another category is calf. The baby cow means calf. Farmers should not feed calf that is weighed between 300 to 400 kg calf. Why? Because calf cannot digest much of the urea because their stomach doesn't fully develop yet. Okay, based on the question that what will happen to a cow when they eat 500 grams of great urea fertilization, I think it will die. So that's the simple thing that you can think. But I think someone must know what happened actually when they eat 500 grams of urea. When just now I tell you guys that the amount that cattle needs per day for a fattening cow, the normal cow or the normal cattle is between 0.04 to 0.11 kg per day.
Okay, thank you, Ame. So let's continue on with our discussion. Does anyone know what happens to the urea in the ruminant stomach?
Actually, I think I know that before proceed to the consequence of causing excess ammonia, nitrogen, let us start with the urea cycle first. So urea cycle is basically a process that occurs in our kidney or liver, and it's very important in balance the nitrogen in our cells. So by using the urea cycle, then it can convert the excess amines in our cells into urea. Why should we convert? Because when the ammonia accumulates in our cells, then it will become more toxic. So our body should convert it into urea or uric acid, which is less toxic. So in the urea, we got two nitrogen atoms, which are basically through the urea cycle, it take from the ammonia and also the aspartate. So in the urea cycle, first the bicarbonate will phosphorylate into carboxyphosphate, which will nucleophilate attack by the ammonia to form the carbonate. So the carbonate will undergo a phosphorylation again to form carbonyl phosphate, then that will enter the urea cycle. So after it enters the urea cycle, the carbonyl phosphate will together with the ornithine to yield cereulide, which will leave the mitochondria and undergo condensation to yield adenylosuccinate, and this compound will then undergo cleavage to form fumarate and arginine. And about the fumarate, it will then convert into oxaloacetate via malate, and about the arginine, it will undergo cleavage by the help of arginase enzyme and producing urea and also the ornithine, which will enter the mitochondria again. So the cycle will repeat. But then about the excesses, about the consequence of the intake of excessive amount, then that's I'm not so sure.
Sure.
So what happens when there's excessive of ammonia level in the urine?
I think I found some information regarding your question. The most common thing that will happen to the cattle if it intakes too much of ammonia, too much of urea, is urea poisoning. It will cause urea poisoning in the cattle because in normal digestion of ruminants, the rumen microbes can convert urea to ammonia via an enzyme known as urease. The ammonia is then combined with the ketone acids by the microbes that I mentioned just now to produce amino acids. So even though there's a lack of ketone acids, the rumen will continue to convert the urea into ammonia. So if the rate of ammonia production exceeds the microbes' ability to utilize it to form amino acid, so there will be a large accumulation of ruminal ammonia. Basically, ammonia is absorbed from the rumen into the systemic circulation, which is our blood circulation, and it is detoxified by the liver via the urea cycle that I mentioned just now. So, when excess ammonia and urea is circulating in the cattle's blood, then it will result in the elevated blood ammonia level, which will finally cause urea poisoning. So in the normal cattle, when excess ammonia and urea is circulating in the blood of the cattle, it will result in the elevated ammonia level, which will cause urea poisoning. Basically, in a normal cattle, the pH in their rumen fluid is around 6.4 to 7.1. But if the excess ammonia is found inside the rumen fluid, then the pH level of the cattle will increase, so to become alkaline, and the final pH will be around 7.1 to 7.9. Yeah, so that's what I found. This.
Basically, from the drying explanation, we know what will happen to the cow if it eats 500 grams of urea, so it will occur urea poisoning. Okay, does anyone can now know what is the symptom of urea poisoning? Maybe?
So usually when the animals are having urea poisoning, they are often found dead because the toxicity spreads fast and rapidly. But there are also clinical signs that can be seen from 15 minutes to several hours after the poisoning occurred. So the animals may show clinical signs such as ear twitching, pupil dilation, rapid eye blinking, dyspnea, which is difficulty in breathing, excessive salivation, frequent urination and defecation, ataxia, and also central nervous system dysfunction. So the prognosis of urea poisoning condition is poor, especially for recumbent animals. So even though treatment is often impossible, there are still several suggestions on how to treat the condition. For example, is to acidify the lumen by infusing acetic acid. So acetic acid can lower the pH of the lumen to prevent further absorption of ammonia. And another treatment suggested was to do emergency lumenotomy, which is to remove the lumen contents.
Okay, so does anyone know how to prevent this situation from happening in ruminants?
Yeah, I think I know because I made some research that for us to prevent, we have to make sure that the urea should not be fed at exceeding 2 to 3% of the concentrate occurring portion of ruminant diets and should be limited to less than 1% of the total diet. Additionally, NPN should constitute no more than 1/3 of the total nitrogen in the ruminant diet. Then once the decision is made to feed NPN, the animals must be slowly adapted to and maintain on a consistent dietary NPN content concentrated integration. Cows or range groups with NPN must be fed daily with no interruptions. So temporary absence of NPN from the diet should be avoided at all costs. The consumption of palatable liquid supplements can be controlled by the addition of phosphoric acid. 1% phosphorus from phosphoric acid should restrict consumption of liquid supplement to 2 pounds of animal per day. While properly adapted adult cattle can tolerate up to 1 gram urea per kg for a body weight per day, a cycle feeding rate is no more than half that amount.
Okay, so I believe we've reached the end of our discussion on what would happen if cow ate 500 grams of fertilizer-grade urea.
Yeah.
So basically what we have all agreed is that the cow will die, right?
That eventually.
Yeah, will eventually die unless treated within 24 hours. But the prognosis, which Haning said, was that it is very low, so meaning most likely the cow will be dead within 24 hours due to urea poisoning, or in other terms, ammonia toxicosis. So thank you everyone for your discussion and for playing a part in finding your information.